Hello and welcome to a Squadron 42 Episode 1 Roadmap Update, the single-player campaign experience of Star Citizen, looking at what the devs have been working on over the last few weeks and progress made. Squadron 42 Episode 1 is still listed on the roadmap as having a feature-complete beta by the end of Q2, so the end of June 2020. It's very possible that this date could see delays, but I'll update if anything changes, and at the moment, it's very possible that it could meet that sort of target. There have been a lot of progress on a smorgasbord of features over the last few weeks. AI has made a lot of progress recently. They completed AI flight landing, takeoff, and travel. This utilizes the new flight model to improve spline following functionality and allows for AI pilots to land and take off from carriers, hangars, or landing pads and perform basic non-combat maneuvers like patrolling and other sort of like stay here and wait and defend, that sort of stuff. Flight mission logic additional controls saw a lot of work towards its completion, which involves the ability to impart commands to an AI spaceship crew and interfaces that allow commands to ships AI to defend other ships or lead and follow another ship while flying over user-defined splines. This will have the ability to specify dangerous areas the AI should try to avoid as well, whether that be from a player or from a dev sort of like setting this up standpoint. FPS combat AI behaviors have been updated to react to enemy presence with additional animations, audio lines, comms, and could have an NPC investigating sounds or events in an area that they heard, like a player firing or kicking a stone over or whatever. General flight AI saw firing behavior, target selection, and mission event response updates. Usables used primarily by social AI, NPC vendors, and civilians went through a bit of a rework. This involved going into test levels and making sure that the AI could navigate to any given usable and use them according to their respective functionality. They are also anticipating that testing will be required for the new ships AI formations feature. This system is already being used to a degree in the persistent universe, but will need further functionality and testing for Squadron 42. Animation work for melee and the female character motion has been coming along nicely. They have been iterating on unarmed combat, including looking into heavy attacks and light attacks, creating windows of opportunities for punching, dodging, and blocking. So it does sound like the melee and unarmed combat system is actually going to be reasonably featureful. The timings and balance of melee has been tested in multiplayer bar fight arenas that they've sort of like been testing with the other devs. The hair pipeline has been evolving, and they've even added tools to control hair grooming. Rigging for important characters was developed, as was texturing for costumes and uniforms. They're now continuing texturing passes on heads and other outfits. Concepting began for UIs on datapads that various characters are going to be carrying, and they finished the logos for the main UE squadrons seen on military ships and uniforms. The cinematics team have been focusing on conversations, briefings, and the walk and talk feature and scenes. There have been some new tech that's been added that unblocks the ability to fully implement those scenes. Mocap and animation blending also saw work, with more scenes being marked as implementation complete, which means a scene's state machine is done, approved, and the animation editing for each fragment reflects that, including pre-scene idles, intros, dialogue options, waiting idles, resolves, post-scene idles, which even smaller scenes require. The social team continued with the implementation of various narrative scenes, including crew behaviors and some of the persistent entities such as weapons vendors, firing ranges, and air traffic controllers. They are developing a motion match system as well, which is a technique that creates much more fluid transition between animations and that will add an extra layer of like fidelity to characters. Various scenes that are planned for completion by the end of September have started, and they've been creating idle animations and tasks where they believe they are required. Work on the inventory system began as well, alongside the physical inventory, items attached basically to a player's suit or directly in their hands. Players will get a container to store resources and other smaller items as well. Environments. So we saw some important asteroid sets completed that are going to serve for like 30% of the game's needs in regard to asteroids. Asteroids and other assets evolve as the campaign progresses, so the next step is to create variations of those. Gas cloud work continued too. The design guys there working on setting out new modular set requirements for basic traversal areas. They are merging this tech with some of the asteroid belts, as some of them have solar winds and need to have movement, affect ship flight characteristics and so on. Archon Station's central hub receives significant attention. This is the giant mining station, including explorations of lighting and atmosphere. The aim is to have a social space that feels alive as possible and accurately portrays the fact that thousands of people live there and visit it every day. Development of Comore exteriors is coming along as well, with particular attention being given to how a player freely traverses the area while being funneled to locations that show off the scale and grandeur of the game and sort of like the areas that you're in. They also began work on one of the main planetary locations, a brutalist building with impressive scale. Level design are still polishing chapters that include traversal and exploration, along with focusing on the combat experience. The spaceflight team are currently developing combat spaces with art and the points of interest where quantum travel will be seen, with focus soon shifting from level layout to the player cockpit experience as more AI behaviours make it into the game. They've been working out what stats and metrics the missions will keep track of in-game and writing mission descriptions and info based on that. This will also factor into the reputation system that the game will track, as these factors will help establish a player's performance during the game and how NPCs and the mission system sort of reacts to you in Squadron. The game engine saw server-side object container streaming get worked on, general game updates and code support to optimize collisions, overlapping zones, geometry instancing, application of network states, and an ongoing physics update. For example, vehicles now go to sleep when landed, so they don't update all the entities or where the vehicle is if it's not moving or if it moves just slightly. Not looping through all the rigid entities during the apply state from network part of the physics step. This makes everything faster and more efficient. They are also starting to get various options for anti-aliasing and scalable visual optimizations ready. Rendering code is being updated to vastly reduce CPU usage and get ready for what is assumed to be Vulkan support and any other modern graphics API that they want to integrate. There is a unification of fog and completion of some gas cloud tech is being done, so atmospheric, ground and cloud. Fog is basically all going to be dealt with in the same way in regard to lights, and their procedural layout generator now visualizes collisions better as well. This will all lead to better looking terrain and locations faster, I suppose, as well, in areas like the Coil with its huge network of traversable gas clouds. This is going to be essential. There were lots of general code and workflow updates, as well as the addition of child object container layers, which now have zones, ships, areas and scenes being able to be played without having to wait for the client mode to verify that it works, leading to a huge amount more efficiency and being able to do a lot more in smaller areas, I suppose. A fistfight scene, for example, could play on top of a Gladius wing while another player is also flying the ship, so that it doesn't need to update exactly what's happening to the pilot when he's flying, unless that fistfight crosses over and damages the ship somehow, then it would update that information. That's how I am assuming that it works. I'm suspecting that there's going to be a good amount of Squadron 42 stuff shown off at CitizenCon. We know that they've been working on some vertical slice gameplay of the first third of the game, and various ships and scenes have all been worked on that CIG are unwilling to talk about or name at this point when it comes to ships and stuff like that. The amount of progress with AI and the game engine has me most excited at the moment, at least for this month. AI is obviously core to Star Citizen and Squadron 42, so it needs to be genuinely quite great. And in the persistent universe currently, it's far from so. So, stuff like the game engine, that's seeing server-side object container streaming and associated tech progress. That's pretty exciting for me. Optimizations and getting the skeleton in place towards getting Vulkan integration and graphical polish there. That's something that's going to catapult the game into looking potentially much better and much more scalable. And remember that any of these Squadron 42 updates also directly affect the Persistent Universe and Star Citizen, though sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get them integrated into the Persistent Universe due to it being a multiplayer game and having a much larger scope as well. But what do you think? Are you excited for Squadron 42 or any of the features that it's bringing to Star Citizen's Persistent Universe in the near future, or anything that we talked about in today's video? Are you planning to play Squadron 42, or are you only planning to play Squadron 42 and not Star Citizen, or only Star Citizen? Because obviously Squadron 42 is single player and Star Citizen's multiplayer, and what they both might not appeal to everyone, even if you're a fan of Star Citizen. Do you think Squadron 42 Episode 1 could have an end of 2020 release like I do, or at the very least see a date announced at CitizenCon 2019 of when they're planning to release it? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a giveaway. For August, we are giving away a Drake Corsair bundled with an 8-inch Fire tablet and 12 months of Game Glass. Game Glass makes software allowing you to turn touchscreen devices, like tablets and mobiles, into immersive controllers for Star Citizen. But not just Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous is getting support next, and there's plans for lots more games to support this. You can use Game Glass for free, but there are paid options as well, giving you even more functionality. Please follow the links down below to get more info or to download. I'm still also shilling for NordVPN. If you're looking for a VPN, they are very cheap and have many benefits over free services. They help protect you and your privacy online, but it also makes it easier to access various websites as well. And there's Shadow 2, giving you remote access to a Windows 10 gaming PC of your very own, so that you can effectively turn any appropriate device, your smartphone, a computer, a laptop, whatever, into this much more beefy machine. Subscription cloud services, in my opinion, are the way forward, and for some are going to be very appealing instead of sort of maintaining their own PC. For all of those, please follow the links below or use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. A massive thank you for watching. Please consider liking and sharing this content, as well as pressing the bell icon to get informed when a video goes live. Consider Patreon or becoming a YouTube member too if you'd like to further support the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Please take care, and I'll see you in the verse.